Hello, Julie here, and thank you for joining me here today. I am creating some tall skinny tags today. Now I thought that this was part of Roxy's weekly challenge, but her challenge was tall slim envelopes, so I got that all mixed up. Anyway, here's my take on her challenge. So today I'm going to make some tags, and I'm basically going to follow the recipe by Roxy's Creations and her Roxy's Creations Weekly Challenge, I think it's called. And in week 5 she made tall tags. Now I'm not worried about them being tall, I want them to go into my journal, but the method that she used, she collaged some book pages onto some paper or cardstock, and she also collaged some like just tea-dyed papers and things like that on another sheet. So I'm going to do that. I've got an assortment of books here. I've got an old Oxford dictionary, I have this book of plants that I'm going to use the texty sections. I'm not going to use any of the pictures on this because the idea is to have text on there, not pictures. And then I've got this book of birds that I will use some of the text from here as well. And I also have this encyclopedia dictionary that I will use to have some more pages. And I've noticed that most of my page books are a whiter colour than the ones that Racheal used, so mine's going to be a lot lighter, but that's fine, I don't mind that at all. So rather than bore you to death watching me collage papers onto this sheet, I'm assuming that you all know how to do that, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I will record it, but I'll probably, if I keep it in the video, I will put it on very fast forward so that you're not sitting there watching me collage all day long. So I'll go ahead and do that now, and I'll start talking again when my collage is finished. Now I'm going to use a glue stick. I have never used a glue stick for anything before. I don't know whether they stay stuck, but everybody seems to use glue sticks in the collaging job, so I'm going to try it. I've got a Boss Stick one. I'm hoping that that is a good one. On white and dry clear it says here, so here we go. So I'm going to get started. I've torn some pages out of those books to make it a bit easier, and I'll just tear them up as I go. So here we go, and see you when I've got all of my pages stuck down. Now that I've got all of my paper stuck down, it's still wet. It's only just finished, so I'm just going to trim the edges off. I'm going to use my scissors for that, and I am hopeless with scissors, I'm afraid. They are definitely not one of my best used tools. I should really use a paper trimmer, but because this is not that important, I'm not going to bother. I'm trying to decide whether I will back these with something. I think I'll have to, because I don't really want white backgrounds. So I'll trim this down, and then I'll probably I'll cover this whole back of the sheet with some tea-dyed papers. I actually made some of my own tea-dyed papers, first time ever, and I'm pretty happy with the way they turned out, so I'll use some of those on the back of this. And then I will set that aside to dry before I start making the tags. Now, as I said, I'm making these tags to fit the pockets in my journal, where Roxy's weekly challenge is to make tall skinny tags. I suppose I could make 2 tall skinny tags instead of one normal size tag, because my journal is about 8¼ inches high, so I could make tags that are maybe 8 inches high or something like that. So there we have that side done. So I'll go and round up some tea dyed papers and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've got some avocado dyed paper here that I dyed, and seeing as how I've got quite a bit of this in my journal, I've decided to use this on the back of my collage. So I'm just going to stick this down exactly the same way that I did the other little pieces on the other side, so the collage pieces. As I said earlier, I have not used glue stick in any of my projects before, so I've got my fingers crossed that this will stay together. And so I'm just going to place this down here. Bit of a crease there, but well, it's life. I don't think that that's going to be a deal breaker. So okay, so that's got the whole border. Now I can just go on the inside. I'm trying to make sure that I'm covering all of the paper. If you've got a favourite glue stick that you use, I'd love to hear about it. One that you've been using for a while and you know it works. Just in case this one is a failure. But it's a Bostik brand, so hopefully that might just overlap that a little bit, just in case when I cut the tags I don't want any little white gaps there. So I don't mind this bit around the edge, I can just trim that off. Okay, so there we have our collaged piece. I'm going to set that aside to dry, and when it's dry I'll come back to you. Okay, so there, I think it's dry enough now, so I'm going to start working on it. First of all, I'm going to trim it down a little. Trim these bits off. Alright, now I'm going to make the tags to fit into my journal. And here's my journal. So the journal is, I think, about, well, the pages are an A4 page. So they'll be 8¼ inches tall. But like the pockets and things that I want to put these in, I reckon I'm only going to want them to be about 7 inches tall. Let's find something else that's got a pocket or something in it here. Yeah, well, I could put like 7½. Could put even an 8 in that one. I'd want 7½. I'm going to make tall ones that are, let's say, 7 inches tall. That's going to be my height for this lot. So cut that off. That's 7. And then I'll go along here and make sure I trim this off so that there's no white pieces showing. And make sure this edge is straight. Okay, now I'll bring that back and how wide do I want my pockets. So that pocket goes from there to there. So I think if I make them 4 inches wide, they should fit in any pocket in my album. So what is this? I'll make it 4 inches. And then that would leave me about 3.5, just under 3.5, so that would be fine. Now this lot, will I make them the same? I'll make these 7 inches tall. But I'll make them thinner. So, cut these edges down first. Oh, I've got this join here. It's a boo-boo, isn't it? I guess it would be alright if I glue that down properly. And I'll make these thinner, so let's make these 3 inches. If I make this one, these two, I'll just divide this evenly, or evenly enough. Okay, so they're my tags. Some of them I will have to touch up with a bit of glue, where this is loose, so I'm just going to use my art glitter glue to do that. Make sure that sticks down right to the edge. Okay, so they're my bases. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll put that section at the bottom, and I'll probably put some lace or something over that to disguise that join. Okay, now the idea is that we stamp on here. So I'm going to, I've got a few stamps out, and I'm going to start here and work my way through some stamps. Now I've got this art stamp by Bridget Coopson. Oh, here we go, Carabelle Studios, and it's called, I don't know what it's called. Anyway, I'm going to use that. It's a bit grungy looking, but it's got a lot of numbers on it, so I thought that that might be a good idea. I have got a stamping block here. So there we go. And I have got, oh, I'm going to be doing it on the print side, not the, this side of course will be for the for writing. Now I've got Green Oasis, Golden Meadows, which I haven't opened yet. I have got Vintage Photo and Onyx Tape. So let's have a look. What will we start with? Let's start with the green. So Green Oasis. Looks a bit bright, doesn't it? We'll see how we go. So I'm going to put this just down the side here, like so. It's okay. I'm not that keen on the colour. I might try toning it down a little, put a bit of black over the top and see how that goes. I won't get it in exactly the same spot, of course, but just by putting that over the top of it, I might tone it down a little bit. And I just might put, I've got these little flowers that I've bought at Kmart, or Big W Kmart I think, can't remember, I never remember the name of those two, which one is which. And I'm just going to put, say, one of these, maybe that one, and in yellow. It's got a little bit of carry over on the side. You just get a wipe to wipe that off. Don't want those bits on my tag. I'm just going to say put it there, say. As you can see, I've never used these stamps before, so heaven knows what they're going to turn out like. It's not too bad. Put another one, say there. Okay, see that? That's because I didn't wipe that part of it off. Rightio. Now, okay, put that over there. So, I have to let that dry for a minute. Not that impressed with that, to be honest. Put that aside to dry and start on another one. So this one, I've got this stamp here. This came in a kit from Paper Inspirations. They do a monthly mystery box, and this I think was in one of their mystery boxes. So I'm going to stamp on that one with the Vintage Photo. It's looking a bit non-juicy, isn't it? Perhaps I need to get a brown ink pad that's got more juice to it. Let me have a look what I've got. Okay, I've got Rusty Hinge here. I'll try that, see if it's any better. Doesn't look much better anyway. perfect length. Doesn't stand out all that well. Not really dark enough, I don't think. So let's have a look at the black. Yep, that stands out all right. Okay, perhaps if I just put a bit of that down there like that. Okay, now I'm also going to try, I've got some other stamps that I've had for ages and ages that were originally bought to make cards with. So I'm going to, they're pretty full and not really made for this type of thing, but I'm going to try them anyway because, well, it's because I've got it and I may as well use it, eh? So that can go over there. Let's try one of these wider ones for this one. So turn that over. Now, I've got this one, so it's floral, it's a bucket of flowers, and I'm going to try it. Now, what colour do I want to try it in? Perhaps the yellow one? Don't know. I'll go for the rusty hinge, see how that goes. I have got a re-inker for this, so perhaps I should re-ink it. Although I've hardly used it, so it shouldn't be drying up. Now I'm just going to put that just off to the side there like that. Too pale. Okay, I definitely need a darker brown. I'm going to turn the camera off and go hunting for a darker brown. I'll be back soon. Okay, I found some brown, gold and grey ink pads, and I'm also going to use these Uniquely Creative stamps just for background stamps. This one's called Bubblewrap Numbers, and I thought this would tie in nicely. Just as a bit of a background, I'm not looking for a perfect image with these. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to leave them on this. I'm not even going to put them on a stamp, an acrylic block. I'm going to use some grey paint. This one's called Watering Can, and I'm just going to paint on that, ink on it. Yeah. Just something like that in the background. I'll do that. This one here I think is beyond redemption. I don't like that green at all. So I'm going to try the walnut stain on this one. So we can see if I like the colour anyway. Yep. I think this one might get covered with something, I think. And this one here, I think that's got enough on it. I don't think I'm going to put any more on that at this stage. So perhaps a little more of the grey on here. Oh, it's brown. That's all right. I've got a bit of brown. I'm actually going to put some of that over that floral stamp. Okay. Right. That will do for stamping on the background of that one. Now another wide one here, and I've got an All and Create stamp here, and I'm going to use this, and I've got a fair amount of pinky colours in my journal, so I'm going to try stamping one with this pink. So this is called Lacy Graffiti or something like that. It's from All and Create. So let's see if it works. There. Bit too pale. Put a lid on that so I don't dip it in the wrong one. Victorian velvet. This gold. You can see that that's got plenty of juice on it. I need to re-ink my stamp ink pads, but to be honest with you, they've hardly been used, so I am amazed that they do need re-inking. I'll put that there. Down there, and the gold. Okay. Right, set that one aside to dry. What have we got left here? Okay. On that gold one. Try this russet. And what stamp are we going to try on this one? I've got this stamp here, it's got some poppies on it. I don't know, what are they called? Cone flowers. I'll try one of those. So let's clean this stamp off. Take that off the block. Put this one on the block, and we'll try the russet. On there. Stamping block thing here. Oh, great. Like that. I do like that, so I'm going to do another one of those, and in the same colour. The layers on the of paper on there, collage, don't let the stamp touch all over, but that's not a problem. These are just a background. Let's give that another rub with the... I mean, you could do these in your stamping press if you wanted to. It's another one. Okay. I like that colour. I might, on these smaller ones, I might do something with that walnut stain. Where's the lid for that? What's this one? I'll try some with this. Now what will I... So these are... These are very skinny because I just did the... that was the strip that was an offcut. So I just trimmed that up and cut it in halves basically. So what about on those thin ones if we use this one again? I don't know, it's called Forest Whispers. Okay, and I want to use this walnut stain. On the edge. Yeah, that's okay. These two smaller ones, I've got some more, oh maybe this one, oh no this one. This is another uniquely creative one and it's called Floral Text. I'm going to use that and I think I'll use, what colour shall I do it? It's going to be sideways. So I'll do one in this walnut stain and I'll do one in russet. Once again, this is the first time I've used this stamp, so I probably should have tested it first, but I've set this is a background image, so that's good. And now I will do one in russet. I don't have to worry about cleaning the stamp pad off, the stamp off, because they're both browns. And this one I'll do up the other way. And I'm putting them in the middle because that leaves me a bit of room at the bottom for some washi or a label or something like that, and room up the top here to do my, that didn't stamp that well, but that doesn't matter, to do, you know, the tag top and whatever I decide to put up there. And of course we don't have to just leave it with the stamps on here, we can put other things on here as well, which I probably will do. So that can go there, that can go there maybe, never remember to work out which way these go, but that will do the trick. Put that back in there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean up a bit of this mess and let these inks dry, and then I'll come back to you and we'll work on our tags a little bit more. So this is the tag that had that green stamping on it that I didn't like. I covered it with a piece of scrapbooking paper that I had in my scraps, and I used a All and Create stamp to stamp on it with the russet ink, and the stamp is called Daisy Elegance. It's number 266 by All and Create. So that's that one saved from the bin. Okay, so now I'm going to add my tags. So I've got some of this tissue, it's like napkins that I've added to the back of some white cardstock. They're actually the same card paper that I did this on. So I'm going to use these as my tags on here. So I'm going to simply cut these in, say, about that long, and use my art glitter glue. Fold them in halves first. Now, you can add them straight on like that and then punch your hole, or you can add them on like that. But because these tags are tall, I'm going to add them like that, and that's how Racheal did hers as well, I think, from memory. So just, actually I might round the corners on that before I do add them. So this one's the corner round, so just pop them in there. See what I think of it anyway. I'll do one with the rounded corners. If I don't like it, well, I don't have to do it for the others, do I? And I might ink the edge of that before I add it, because you won't be able to ink around the edge afterwards, of course. Might actually ink around the tag as well, although I might cut the corners off at the top there. I'll wait and see. So there's a little bit of that. This was actually, I had to cut a fraction of paper off the bottom of this scrap to add it here, and so it was actually a perfect size. Well, you can see it's just a little bit short there, less than a 1/16 of an inch. So now I'm just adding my glue. I'll put the bright coloured butterfly to the front, try and get it about central, and stick that down. Now I'm just wondering, do I want to add corners to it? And if I do, how big do I want those corners to be? Probably don't want them to be that big, so I'll cut them at that, see how I like it. So this is just an old Jeans West card that I don't use anymore. Everything's on your phone these days, isn't it? So you don't really need those cards. Yeah, I think I like that. And I think I'll round the bottoms, because it always makes them easier to slide in and out if you've rounded the corners on the bottom. And that. So there, have a start. And now I'm going to use my crocodile. Try and get it out of here. And put a hole in there. Now I'm going to use the largest hole. I'm just going to put that in there, about midway. Do I want it midway or up a bit? Up a bit, I think. Poke that hole there. Now do I want to put a eyelet on that? I may as well. So let's see what colour eyelets I've got. Probably got more somewhere, but Can I be bothered looking for them? No. So I'll put one of these on there. And push that into place. Okay, and now I've got these bits of ribbon and lace laying around, so I might just use this bit of lace in this one to poke it through. Let's use this to pull it through. I think it might be just as well perhaps if I just did one layer and tied it. Come on, that's it. So if I just put that through there like that, I can tie a knot. A double knot. That's it. Trim that off a little bit, like so. So that is basics for the first tag. So now you could also distress the edges a bit, which I probably will. You can use the scissors for this if you haven't got a distressing tool. This particular distressing tool is not available anymore, but Tim Holtz puts one out, which is a little grey circular thing. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and do a tab and a hole and some lace or ribbon in all of these. They're all going to be done exactly the same way, so you don't really need to watch me do that. I'll go ahead and do that, and then when I've got them all ready, I'll come back to you. Okay, so I have done all of the tags. I have put the little tabs on, I've put ribbon on them, and I've stitched around each one. So they've each got their backing on. They're all complete. What I'm going to do now is add some embellishments. Now in the what is it called, the Roxy Creations something or other, I'll put in the description box, she just stamped on them and that was it, I think. Now I'm not happy with that. I want to add more to it, so I'm going to use some die cuts that I've got. I have used this Sizzix Thinlits, what's it called? Wildflowers 2 die. I've cut all of those. I've cut them from magazine paper, and I've also cut them from some of this paper as well. So tying those together. So I also have some wax seals that I have made, and there's a video showing how I did that, and I'll link that in the description box below as well. So I'm just going to use my art glitter glue and attach these to the tags. Just apply the glue to the little bits and pieces so that they are attached to the tag, and hopefully won't that on there. Maybe straighten that up a little. That way. And then this one here, I've inked the edges of this. I'm just going to pop this down there as well. You get very gluey fingers doing these, so I'm just going to pop that there like so. And then I'm going to use one of my wax seals. Now I'm not sure, I've never tried sticking one of these before with the art glitter glue, but I'm going to try it today. Normally I'll use hot glue, my hot glue gun, but I'm just going to try it with this and see how it goes. So there we go. I did actually singe the ends of my ribbon so that they don't fray. So there's the first of the completed. So that's a completed tag. A similar thing for this one. So these two basically are decorated the same way. They've got different dies on them, like different die cuts, different leaves, but same idea. So let's put that down. So that stamping on the background is just that bit of background for the tags. And really, with all of this book text in the background, probably don't need the stamping, but seeing as how that was part of the challenge, I thought I'd better include it. This is the first time I've done any of the challenges for this year's post. As a matter of fact, it's the first one I've done of any of her challenges. So I might go back and do, I'm not sure what week this is, week 4 or something I think. So I might go back and do the other weeks as well and then try and keep up with it. So there's tag number 2. So you probably don't really need to sit and watch me do all of this stuff, so I'll show you what I'm going to do here. And this is a piece of the avocado dyed paper, and I've die cut that same die with it. And I've just got this little fussy cut book and a wax seal for that one, and this magazine die cut there. This one here, I've got a fussy cut rose and a green or magazine die cut, so that will be that one. This one here is another fussy cut item. I can't remember what paper range this came from. I reckon it might be a Denise Boddey paper because it's nice and thick. It's either Denise Boddey or Uniquely Creative, and I've got another die cut there. This one here is the one that I didn't like the stamping at all on, so I've got a couple of die cuts there, and then this floral piece with the Denise Boddey. These are from Denise Boddey. So I'll put a link to her shop in the description box below too if you're interested. This one here, I've got a couple of, this one here is this die from Uniquely Creative. It's called Dandelion die. And these flowers I created to put on a card, and I will put a link to the video showing that in the description box as well. So I'm going to just give a bit of ink to those pink bits and attach that. This one here, I did a different tag here. I didn't push it right down, and there's no eyelet in this one, and there's no ribbon. But I've got 2 die cuts there and another one of those pink flowers. And this one here, same thing, I've got 2 die cuts and a flower. So I'm going to go ahead and attach all of these off screen, and when I've completed it I'll come back and show you the finished products. Okay, so I've finished them all, and I'll just run through them quickly. This one here, it's got the tea-dyed paper here, magazine paper, wax seal. They, as I said, they've all got the avocado dyed paper on the back for journaling. This one, same as this, so we've got the magazine die cut there, the avocado dye and the wax seal. This one, I've got the vellum flower with the embossed gold flower on it, and then 2 pieces of the avocado dyed paper cut with the Holtz die. This one here's got another one of those flowers on it. This die is from Uniquely Creative, and this one's from the Holtz die set. This one is magazine paper and a fussy cut flower from Denise Boddey's paper range. I think that's from her latest range, which is called Cogs in Time. Here's another one. This is the one that I didn't like the stamping on, so I covered it with a piece of scrapbooking paper and then stamped this one on it using the russet ink. I've got 2 magazine die cuts here, and then a fussy cut with the keys and the flowers. This one has got the 2 of the avocado dyed papers and the pink heat embossed flower. I think this needs another colour on there. I think I should put a bit of the green or something on there. I might revisit this one afterwards. This one here, this is actually probably the biggest, although both of those are the same. 1 magazine die cut and fussy cut flowers from the Denise Boddey papers. This is also cut from the Denise Boddey papers. I've got 1 magazine die cut, 1 tea dyed, avocado dyed, and a wax seal on that. So that's my tags. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 tags there that I will use in my album as I progress. Okay, so I thought I'd just show you a couple of these in my journal. So that one, will that fit in there? Yes, it will. So that one can sit in there. This one can come up a little bit, so that's like that. I've got this little one in here. I haven't got anything in there, but I need something smaller to put in there. Now I have created this one as well. Now I can put, there's a pocket there, I can put a tag in that, and perhaps one of these smaller ones in this one, perhaps 2 in here. So maybe that one and that one. I'll use one with a different ribbon. Okay, so there we have 3 tags in that one. You have to be a bit careful, because otherwise, you know, it's not going to be very good there. Perhaps I better just stick with 1 tag in there. Anyway, we can work on that as we go. I might put a Velcro in here or something to keep that shut, so that when you close or open the pages it doesn't catch. I'm just looking for some other pockets that I've made in here. I think there's another one. That's that little paper tag. I could actually put, no real point putting anything behind that. There we go. So a nice big one here. Now with this one I just attach that in 3 areas, so I can put that one there. I can put one in this pocket here. One there, one in that pocket there, and let's say one in here. Got that. I think that's all I've got in here at the moment. So yeah, these will be added as time goes by. So thank you for joining me here. I hope you've enjoyed watching my video. As I said, I'm going to go back and check out Roxy's weekly challenge, I think it's called, and I might do the previous challenges as well as try and keep up with the weekly. They're once a week on a Friday, so if I do twice a week I might be able to catch up. So yeah, once again, thank you for joining me, and I hope you can join me when I post my next video. Okay, bye.